The doorbell.
Nolik! Nolik! What are you doing here? Just whistling a tune. Are you gonna whistle that tune the whole time Tom Thomas is away? He just left with his parents for a week, and we've got guests coming, remember?
What guests?
I invited everybody.
The class?
Yes, class.
Are they sleeping in there, what, huh?
First they invite us, and now they don't want to let us in?
I'll share the present with you then.
Fire. Maybe you'll get it to work now. When they get here, they'll ring the bell.
How come? Why don't they just do what they always do and climb through the keyhole?
No way. It's not that simple, Nolik. Today they're our guests.
Ah.
The guests ring the bell, and the hosts let them in the house.
It doesn't ring.
You think the doorbell's broken?
I say we go fix it.
Before we fix anything, we need to know what went wrong with it.
First we'll fix it, and then we'll know what it was.
Back in the olden days, people would hang a bell over their doors with a string, and guests would tug on it to make it ring. Today, doorbells are electric, and they make all sorts of different sounds. Some buzz, some ring, and some even chirp like birds. The sound comes from a box inside the house called a chime. To make the chime ring, you push a button that's located outside. The button works just like a light switch, but instead of turning on light, it turns on sound.
Verda, will you join me? Whoop!
I gotta think about this. Yeah.
Simka! You think your guests are gonna come at all?
Simka! Toola? Hey! The doorbell doesn't work. It must be broken. That's odd. We heard it ring this morning. Nolik, let's go. First, we'll examine the contacts. Yep, good and tight. Okay, let's check the speaker. The speaker's fine. Maybe the electronics are the problem.
And what if we disconnect these wires and switch them?
What'll that do?
We'll know soon enough. You know what? Why don't we connect the wires straight together?
Isn't that dangerous?
We'll find out. Don't worry, nothing happened yet.
Fire. He's the engine of our class. He's the fastest, the nimblest, and the bravest. Fire never sits still for a second, and he's always looking for adventure. New ideas just burn in his head. And that's why his name is Fire. But not all of his ideas are very good, so he's constantly getting bumps and bruises. He just can't help getting carried away. If he's burning with an idea, he can even forget about his classes at school. Grampus punishes him for that. But it doesn't seem to bother Fire, because some new plan will pop into his head the very next second. To be honest, Fire's my favorite out of all the boys in our class. It's sure never boring when he's around.
Hey, you down there. I figured out why it's not working.
So what's the reason?
There's no electricity in the whole house, so that's why the bell isn't working.
And what? We can't visit like real guests do until the electricity comes back? And when will it work again?
Don't know. It could possibly take hours, guys. Oh!
Oh! It's working again!
Ah! Enough ringing! Hey, Fire, quit fooling around!
He's not fooling around!
It's not me, see?
Then who's ringing it?
I don't know! Well, I know. The doorbell's ringing because Fire connected the wires together.
True, but I'll fix that right now.
Ha! Your guests sure are noisy. Yeah, thank goodness the humans aren't home right now. Hello? Hello there, dear guests. Let yourself into our home through the keyhole.
So, should we go in?
Go where?
Go inside.
Nah, that's not how guests act.
So what do we do?
Real guests always ring the bell. Okay, hold me tight. Hup.
The elevator.
Papu's, Marcia, we gotta hurry.
How come?
Tom Thomas is going to see the circus.
And what?
We want to go with him, can we?
The answer's no. Just you kids without supervision.
Who said no supervision? His parents are taking him there.
We'll be careful, don't worry.
They won't even notice us.
Well, if Tom Thomas's parents will be there.
Hooray! We can go!
Wait a second. I didn't even say yes yet.
Yeah.
Simka, Nolik, where are you? We gotta hurry up.
Tom Thomas, it's time to go.
I'll be right there.
We're ready.
Climb into my hood.
Ha! I know who's going to the circus today.
Whoa!
Huh?
What just happened?
I think that the elevator broke down.
Don't you worry.
Emergency operator.
We got stuck in the elevator.
Understood. Please wait. We'll have the elevator fixed within the hour.
That long? That means we won't get to the circus on time.
Tom Thomas, we'll go get Papu's and Marcia. I'm sure they can fix it.
People need elevators to help them get to the upper floors of tall buildings. When someone steps into an elevator and presses a button, the elevator's electrical engine starts up. It pulls the cable that is attached to the elevator cabin, and the elevator goes to the desired floor. The cable hangs over a wheel, and it usually has a heavy counterbalancing weight attached to the other end of it. This counterweight balances the elevator and helps the electric motor do its job. I wonder what the reason is.
I think I see something over there that got stuck.
Looks like you found the reason.
We gotta go and fix it now, or we'll never get to the circus on time.
You know, we can just have it right here. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Fixies Spectacular. And now your attention, please, on the high wire.
Whoa!
Just don't look down.
Then I'll close my eyes and I won't look anywhere at all. Ow!
And now we bring you our very own aerial gymnasts. Tadish! Our next act, feats of strength.
It won't come out.
I know how to fix it. With a death-defying circus act, point your eyes up.
Marcia, where are you going?
Up to the electric motor! Do you know the right way to behave yourself inside of an elevator? First of all, small children should never get into an elevator by themselves. They should only go in with their parents or other adults they know well. When getting onto an elevator, the adult should always enter first and then the child. When it's time to get out, it's the other way around. First the child leaves and then the adult. If you are taking a dog onto an elevator, make sure its tail and leash are completely inside so they don't get stuck in the door. And there's one more thing. If the elevator suddenly stops for some unknown reason, don't try to break out of it yourself. Press the button that calls the emergency operator and wait for help from the elevator repairmen. Or the Fixies. I reached the motor!
Turn it on!
Oh, they fixed it. That was quick.
Now we'll make it on time. There was no need to worry.
Stop! Ugh, it's way too high.
Tom Thomas went to the circus without us.
There's no need to get that upset, Nolik. Our circus is as good as theirs. Right, Papoose?
Of course it is.
Thank you.
Thank you, to who?
What do you mean who? The elevator repairman.
The instructions.
It doesn't work.
Try putting it in the other way. Did you read the instructions?
Why would I? Instructions are for dummies.
Yeah, instructions are for dummies.
All right.
Oh, what's going on?
Whoa! My battery! Instructions teach us how to do things right. Instructions for a piece of furniture explain how to put it together. With the instructions for a television, we can adjust the picture and sound the way we like them. Printed on a box of oatmeal are the instructions for how to cook it. The instructions for medicines tell us what the medicine is for and how to safely use it. So always read the instructions if you want to do things right and avoid a lot of problems.
I found it. Here it is.
Here you go, Tom Thomas.
Whoa.
We got you a new chair, but it has to be assembled, and I'm afraid it'll be a little bit difficult for you.
No, it won't. Don't worry, Dad. I'll do it.
Finish before dinner, and we'll get ice cream tonight.
A creamsicle. 2, okay?
First, assemble the chair.
Tom Thomas, can I help you put the chair together?
Come on.
Hey, first you two need to read the instructions. Simka, stop being such a bore.
What, like I haven't seen a chair?
Or like I haven't seen a chair?
Well, Tom Thomas, you done? Dinner's ready. Let's go.
Oh, Dad, no. I need another 2 minutes. Simka, help me.
How?
What does it say I have to do in the instructions?
Ah, I thought you could do it without him. All right, I'll help you. Let's see. Take this part over here and that one over there. Nolik, get a screw. No, the longer one. It's over there.
The very first stools and benches appear as far back as in ancient Egypt. The pharaoh's stool was special because it had a back. It is thought that the pharaoh's stool was actually the first chair. For a long time, a chair was considered a luxury. Rich noblemen would bring their own chairs to parties. And the more important the man, the higher the back of his chair. It wasn't until the 19th century that chairs became part of every house. Today, there are just so many different kinds of chairs. There are wooden chairs, plastic chairs, metal chairs, chairs with legs, chairs with wheels, folding chairs, baby chairs, just all sorts of chairs. Well, how could people sit down at the table with no chairs?
Ooh, I think we'll make it.
Screw it in, quickly.
Nolik, we need one more screw.
But there aren't any.
There is, you gotta find it.
I already looked everywhere.
Tom Thomas, time's up.
Nolik, you have to help.
How?
Just for a minute, that's all. Turn into a screw.
If it's only a minute, I'll do it for you.
I'm done.
You built it. Huh. Great job, son.
Mom, see how I won the bet.
Can you believe it? He put the chair together.
You're so brilliant.
Go on, have a seat.
Whew.
Now I see. You missed a screw.
But I screwed it in. It must have, what? Must have what?
Look, here it is. Now this screw's not going anywhere.
And that ice cream you won? Well, you just lost it.
Well then, Mr. Chair Builder, time for dinner? Yeah, in a sec. Where is that Nolik?
He ran away.
What a traitor.
No, he's not. He promised you he'd become a screw for just a minute. And the minute was up.
Well, where is he then?
Over there. He's studying the instructions for the clock. Hey, Tom Thomas. It says that we put the wrong kind of battery into the clock. We should have used that kind. You see, Tom Thomas? If you don't want to be a dummy, instructions are for you.
Batteries.
Oh, my little lemon, just you wait. One day you'll be a strong and splendid tree.
She's talking with a flower pot.
Oh, you scared me. Do you like it?
Like what?
My seedling, don't you see? It will grow into a huge tree. And there, amongst the green leaves, will be beautiful yellow lemons.
Class.
From that thing? Lemons?
Oh, yeah. It'll grow into a tree. All it needs for that is to gather energy.
Get energy from where?
From our sun.
The sun? It'll be so slow. Oh, batteries would be faster than the sun.
Batteries? I really don't think so.
Toola, do you know how much energy they have? Let's just bury a bunch of those batteries in here, and you'll be watching your lemon plant shoot up into a tree.
Are you positive?
Absolutely.
And where can we get the batteries?
Over there. Professor Eugenius has a whole box full of them.
Every day and need them by the ton. Batteries, batteries. They give power to appliances so they can run. Batteries, 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 batteries.
That does it. We'll be seeing the first lemons before the week's over.
The first battery in the world was made in Italy more than 200 years ago. When two different kinds of metal were placed in salty water, electricity started flowing through a wire from one piece of metal to the other. Many years have passed since then, but batteries still work in pretty much the same way. Today, you can find batteries being used for electricity just about everywhere. Tiny batteries are used inside of wristwatches, while big batteries can power cars and even ships. With new batteries being produced by the millions, we have to think, how should we get rid of the old ones? You can't just throw away batteries because they'll poison our soil and water. The best way to dispose of batteries is to take them to a special collection station that sends them to factories for recycling. Yes, it's a terrible idea to bury batteries. You can kill any plants that are growing there. And this is the very reason why Professor Eugenius puts all of his used batteries in that box over there, so he can dispose of them properly. Hey, where are they?
Oh, my seedling. We harmed you.
What? Where are the batteries?
They're in the flower pot.
How come?
So the lemons would grow faster.
From the batteries? Who came up with that idea? It will die! Hurry! We gotta go save it! The soil's contaminated. We've got to find a new home for the seedling.
But where?
Over there. There's a pot with healthy soil.
Let's do it!
Batteries, batteries. They come in different sizes, shapes, and colors too. Batteries, batteries. Could be yellow, might be green, or maybe red and blue. Batteries, 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 batteries.
cry, Toola. The seedling will be perfectly fine. It will grow big and strong with branches full of beautiful lemons and oranges.
And watermelons.
It's a lemon tree, Fire. Will you ever stop going too far, like with the batteries?
Well, anyhow, batteries are cool, right? Look how many appliances can't work without them.
You're right, appliances can't work. Look, the seedling's coming back to life. It really is. Toola, tell us, isn't it splendid? Splendid.
Nolik's cube.
Whoop.
Tom Thomas, you'll be late for school if you don't stop.
School? Don't you worry.
What's he breaking this time? This time, nothing. He's solving a Rubik's Cube, Nolik. Whose cube is it? The Rubik's Cube is the most popular puzzle game in the whole world. It was invented by Professor Rubik from Hungary. A cube has 6 sides on it. And on a Rubik's Cube, each of these sides has 9 squares that are all the same color. You start by mixing up the colors. To solve a Rubik's Cube, you have to turn the pieces, and you keep turning and turning them until each side is one solid color again. For instance, red or yellow or light blue. That's nothing. Hey, Tom Thomas, how long have you been messing around with this cube already?
It's been 3 whole days of turning.
3 whole days? We could solve that puzzle in 5 minutes, now couldn't we, Simka?
Oh, really? Then go right ahead. I'm off to school.
Well, you ready to show Tom Thomas who's boss? Just count me out. Hey, I thought you said Rubik's Cubes are easy to solve. I never said anything like that. This problem is all yours, Mr. Bragger. All right, I'll figure it out myself.
Hey, Nolik. Looks like you've got a problem.
Oh, hi, Fire. No, I'm good. Just solving this Rubik's Cube.
Yeah? Can I do it with you?
What, you can do it?
Of course I can. How hard can it be?
You'll see for yourself. Try getting all the red squares on one side.
Piece of cake. Now hold it tight.
Great, I'm with you. Whoa!
You mean like that?
Class. And what about this side?
What?
This side's gotta be all blue.
Okay, let's go fix it. There, like you wanted.
Now what happened to the red side?
Huh?
Simka was telling me that on each side there has to be one color.
Oh, like Simka'd be able to do this?
Simka can do it all.
Well, if Simka can, then I can too.
Oh! Fire! You busted the cube!
I didn't bust it. I took it apart. Now let's put it together. And not just any way, but the right way.
Puzzles are toys, games, or problems that force you to use your mind in a clever and creative way. Take a labyrinth, for example. In a labyrinth, the challenge is to find the one way to get through a series of tangled corridors. Another fun puzzle is a jigsaw puzzle. Here, you need to put together a picture out of many little pieces. For this, you need to not only pay attention, but be patient. And there are all sorts of puzzles for the computer. One popular computer puzzle is Tetris. In Tetris, different shapes fall down the screen, and you have to think quickly to get them to line up into rows. And solving puzzles isn't only a great activity for people, it's good for Fixies, too. That's right, puzzles are like exercises for our brain.
There, all done.
Nolik, you better hurry, 'cause Tom Thomas is on his way home.
Hi there, Simka.
Just take a look at this. We did it. I can't believe it. How? Oh, it was a piece of cake.
Simka, Nolik, I'm back.
Well, I'm out of here.
Ciao! Woohoo! Wow, you really solved it.
It was Nolik.
Nolik, you are cool. So how?
You see, first you break it apart into all of the pieces, and then you put it all back together. No.
That's cheating. You gotta turn the cube, not take it apart. Now I'll solve this cube, honestly.
I don't think you can.
Why, so sure?
I glued it together,
How come?
so you'll stop straining your brain with it. Now the cube will always be the right way.
But if it doesn't turn, it's not a Rubik's Cube.
Well, yeah. Now it's a Nolik's cube, right?
The Eco Tester.
Are you ready to see my new invention? I just can't wait to show you what it does.
Whoa, what is it?
An Eco Tester.
And what is it for?
This device lets you check vegetables or fruit, so you'll know if they're safe to eat.
To grow apples, tomatoes, or melons faster and bigger, people add chemical fertilizers to the soil. But there's a problem if too much of these chemical fertilizers is used. When there's too much of them, the harmful chemicals get inside the fruits and vegetables, and that makes them very dangerous to eat. An eco-tester is a special device that quickly shows how much of these harmful chemicals have gotten inside of the food. And if the reading is too high, that means you shouldn't eat it.
As you can see, the Eco Tester shows that this apple is good. Well, let's see. Look, this one is safe too.
Ugh, it's not interesting this way.
These apples are all safe.
Now let me take this delicious apple and, make it bad. We will inject this apple with a harmful amount of nitrates.
How come?
What do you mean, how come? So we can see how the Eco Tester works.
Whoa!
Aha! So you see, the Eco Tester clearly shows this apple is poisonous and can't be eaten.
Is it only for apples or for any kind of fruit?
Any fruit or vegetable. I can get a watermelon to show you.
Could it really be true that watermelons can have nitrates too? Of course they can have nitrates. Humans often act without any concern for nature. The waste from factories, airplanes, cars, and cities causes tremendous damage to nature. Species of plants and animals disappear. Air, water, and soil become polluted. And many other kinds of ecological problems appear. And humans shouldn't think that ecological problems are just nature's problems. Because when humans harm nature, they are also harming themselves. People breathe in the dirty air, drink polluted water, and eat food grown in soil contaminated with chemicals. If humans don't want to drink milk filled with poisons, and they want to eat ecologically clean fruits and veggies, then they must learn to treat nature as their friend.
Hey, why don't we test these apples ourselves? Nolik, help me out.
Oh, it rolled away.
I don't care. That apple's poisoned with nitrates. Oh, apples.
Elisa, don't eat that! Lisa, stop! Please sit down.
What?
You bit into it?
Yes, and what?
Oh no, it's poisoned!
What?
Do you have trouble talking?
Oh, yeah.
You feel faint?
Oh, I'm fainting.
Elisa, hang in there.
What?
There's no poison in that apple she ate.
Oh, my assistant. Oh no, I've poisoned her. Oh, Elisa, please.
There was no poison in that apple. Oh no, he didn't hear us.
What should I do?
I know how to make him hear.
Hello? It's an emergency. It's a case of poisoning. Not me. I poisoned someone. Yes, with an apple. Fire! I mean, poison! Oh!
Professor, this apple has no poison in it. The bad one rolled away onto the floor.
Did it really? This is just fantastic news. Can you see me, Elisa?
I can't see anything.
How's that?
I see you. I can see you. I can see again.
I have great news. There's no poison at all in this apple.
Are you sure?
It's perfectly fine. Here, take a look. The eco-tester shows that there are no harmful chemicals inside.
It's wonderful news.
This is one excellent apple. And nutritious.
This appliance of yours is simply wonderful.
Now she'll say he's a genius.
Professor, you are a genius. Thank you for saving my life.
Oh, it was nothing.
Actually, it was Nolik. He saved her life. I did? Dropping the watermelon was your idea, wasn't it? Ah, you're right. I saved her life.
The Pack-A-Mat.
Simka, can I have the Pack-A-Mat? I'd like to practice with it a little before the exam.
Take it. You're really good with that thing.
Good. I couldn't be any worse with it. I wanted a vacuum cleaner.
Actually, you were pretty close there. You did manage to get the hose at least.
This is not at all funny.
In order to get a tool out of a Pac-Man, a Fixie must not only press the button on his chest, but he must also clearly picture exactly the tool he needs. By the time they are adults, this is easy for Fixies to do. But while they're children, they must study hard to master this important skill. As Fixies learn about new tools, they take exams to prove they know how they work. And if they pass an exam, the new tool is added to their Pack-A-Mats. And there's no end to what you can find inside. Screwdrivers, hammers, ladders, vacuums, and even soldering irons. But many of the tools that Fixies use look quite different from the ones that humans have. And the reason for this is very simple. It's because Fixies have to fix appliances that are much bigger than they are.
I just wish I knew which tool was gonna be on that exam.
I got it. You just stay right here. Grandpoos.
What?
On the exam, which tool are you gonna ask about?
It's a secret.
It's too bad.
But I'm sure you can keep a secret, right?
Of course.
Then I'll tell you. Today's exam is on pliers, you see? You won't tell anyone, will you?
Not a chance.
I'll never pass it.
You will. He's gonna ask about pliers.
Huh? How could you know that?
It's a secret. Okay, Digit. See if you can get the pliers out of there.
A pair of pliers is a great tool indeed. To grab and turn things, it's the tool that you need. Just be careful how you use them, or your fingers you could bruise them. Pliers are a great tool indeed. Just be careful how you use them, or your fingers you could bruise them. Pliers are a great tool indeed.
Good going. You got it.
Thanks a lot, Nolik.
It's not really me you should be thanking. Grandpoos, thanks a lot.
For what?
The secret.
What secret?
About the pliers.
Oh, that! You know, I picked a new topic. I decided that a hammer will be the tool.
A hammer?
Only it's a secret.
I remember. The topic got changed. It's a hammer.
You sure about that?
Totally.
All right. I'll try to do it.
A hammer is a great tool indeed. To pound in nails, it is the tool that you need. Just be careful how you use it, or your finger you could bruise it. A hammer is a great tool indeed.
Super. I'm sure you're gonna pass.
That's only if he asks me about a hammer.
I'll be right back. Grandpoos, it's a hammer for sure?
Nah. A hammer would be way too easy for those kids. So now it is a drill.
A drill?
But only...
It's a secret! Now I know. There's no doubt about it at all. It's a drill!
A drill is such a great tool indeed. To drill a hole, it is the tool that you need. Just be careful how you use it, or your finger you could lose it. A drill is such a great tool indeed.
And if it's not a drill, right!
Hammers, wrenches, drills, screwdrivers, vices, mallets, saws, and pliers. All of these are super duper great tools, yes indeed.
That's all. That's enough of this. I'll just go and take the exam. Yeah.
Digit, come on in.
Professor, well, what do you want to ask me on today's exam?
Nothing, you already passed.
What? You mean you're not going to ask me anything at all?
No need. You're excellent at getting tools out of a pack-a-mat.
But how could you know that?
That's a secret. And we Fixies sure know how to keep secrets.
The oven.
Now here he is, our death-defying acrobat.
Nolik, don't!
I'm not Nolik, I'm an acrobat. You're going to fall. I'm not going to. I see. Every single time with him, it's the same old story. He gets himself into trouble, and I've got to get him out of it. No, I'm falling. Whoa! Hold on! I'm just joking. Nolik, you're a knucklehead. Simka, Toola!
We're down here!
Look who's in trouble this time, huh? This isn't funny at all. Need some help? We can manage this ourselves. Right, Toola? Well, all right then. See you later. We gotta get out of here.
Tom Thomas's mom is coming!
Hide! Hi, Tom Thomas.
Hi, Nolik. Are you up for a ride? Because this train's leaving the station.
Nice place.
It's the oven.
It's beautiful in here and not hot at all. Splendid.
It isn't hot right now because it only started warming up. An oven is a cabinet with a heater. It can get so hot inside that it'll roast whatever's in there. As a matter of fact, that's what ovens are for. People roast meat inside of them and bake things too. Some ovens burn gas for heat and others use electricity. They have special electric coils that get red hot and heat everything that's inside the oven. So be careful around ovens. A hot oven can burn you very badly.
It really is getting so hot.
We gotta get out of this oven right away!
Simka, we're about to get roasted in here.
Yeah, inside of a fresh-baked Fixie cake.
I don't want to.
You think I do? Here, grab on tight. This way.
Be careful, you'll fall off.
You're just like Simka. She told me the same thing, and then she was the one who fell. Right into the batter. Together with Toola.
What? They both fell in the dough?
Oh, yeah. And they're probably still stuck in there, too.
Tom Thomas, the cake's fresh out of the oven. Do you want to try some?
Where could they be, huh?
I don't know. Maybe they're inside the cake. They could have turned into screws.
We gotta find them.
Hey, what are you doing? Eat. Stop playing.
Hey, watch out. You could break your teeth.
The first ovens in ancient homes were nothing more than simple fire pits where people cooked on hot coals. Later on, the stove was invented. Every house had a stove made out of stone, clay, or cast iron. People would burn wood or coal in them. These stoves produced enough heat to make soup or bake a cake. And then in the 19th century, the gas stove was invented. Gas stoves are much more practical than wood-burning stoves. 1 second and the gas is burning. A few more minutes and the water's boiling. They're very convenient, but they can also be dangerous because if the pipes aren't in good condition, there can be an explosion. Today, there are also stoves and ovens that run with electricity. They use electric heating elements for frying, boiling, or baking foods without fire at all.
Thomas, I think you'll explode.
But it's so incredibly good. I just can't stop eating it.
Keep chewing, Thomas.
That's as much as I can chew.
Hey, what are you guys up to?
Up to? We're trying to save you.
You're not in the cake? Then how come I was eating all of this? I hate cake.
Maybe it's because that's what good friends do.
Yeah, he's a good friend who's got a really good appetite.